Hitter against Pittsburgh on the 12th of May. There is a fly ball deep to center field.
Most baseball fans won't recognize his name.
That is a strike.
Many wouldn't even be able to point him out in a picture.
Pitched a no-hitter against Pittsburgh.
Which is why it may just be a bit of a curveball to find out that this man used to be a baseball legend.
He was a Negro League baseball pitcher and outfielder. And his legacy was taken away from him by segregation in the game of baseball.
Once a smash hit, he appeared in more than a few newspapers.
And the number is 7,854 newspaper references we have for his career right now.
Pete Gordon, for the past 20-odd years, has been doing everything he can to retell John Donaldson's story almost a century later.
What my job is to get rid of something called John Donaldson Who.
He says that Donaldson was one of the best ball players around.
His physical ability was different than anybody else had ever seen before that.
A real catch for any team lucky enough to get him.
I've seen guys with worse form in the Hall of Fame.
And he certainly isn't the only one saying that. Newspapers from the time seem to agree.
And they wrote about it in newspapers, and they'd say that thousands and thousands of people would show up where only a handful would show up if he wasn't there.
Which, of course, begs the question.
How is it possible I don't know this person? And it is possible because of what segregated America did to his legacy.
Barred entry from the major leagues because of the color of his skin. It's the injustice that almost every player in the Negro League felt.
In terms of what the color line embodied in baseball, they just systematically eliminated the possibility of baseball players to have a lasting legacy by keeping them out.
It's an injustice Donaldson worked every day to correct.
Stereotypes and prejudices of people is something that was hacked away at for years and years by men like John Donaldson and many, many others.
And it's an injustice Pete is trying to reverse, one game at a time. Bringing light to a forgotten figure in baseball history isn't easy work.
We're changing what history thinks of somebody, and that's a really hard job to do.
But Pete Gordon knows the more you keep your eyes on the ball,
it's something that's really taken years and years of daily pursuit.
The more home runs you'll hit.
We put a larger-than-life statue of him up in his hometown, and in a time in the nation's history where they're tearing down statues of hate and racial indifference, we're putting a statue of a black man up in the South, and that was a really important thing.
Michael Orlando, CB TV.